Sometimes 280 characters just aren't enough to explain a disaster. Someone tweets, starting the thread, grab your coffee, and suddenly you're dragged into a 20-tweet roller coaster of pure chaos. Welcome to QRX Stories. Today, we're diving deep into X to uncover 3 legendary viral threads that will make you say, there is no way this is real. But they 100% are. Sit back, because the downfall of the fake guru in our first story is going to be incredibly satisfying. Our first story comes from an 18-tweet thread posted by a user named Crypto Hunter. It's about one of those guys we've all seen on our timelines, the day trading guru selling courses from a rented sports car. The thread starts like this. Last week, a sponsored post popped up on my feed from a guy calling himself the new Wolf of Wall Street. He was sitting in a luxury cafe with 3 monitors, supposedly reading the market, trying to sell his VIP trading masterclass for $1,000 to his followers. I've been in the market for years, and I literally code my own indicators. So I got curious and decided to take a look at his expert analysis. I zoomed in on the screenshot he posted. He had drawn massive fair value gap, FVG, and market structure shift, MSS zones on the chart, claiming it was his private system. But there was one massive, hilarious problem. Those fancy indicators he claimed to have coded in PineScript were working completely in reverse. It was showing a bullish gap, while the price was tanking and signaling a structure shift when nothing was broken. The guy was literally reading the chart upside down and collecting thousands of dollars based on a total lie. I couldn't help myself. I quote tweeted his super arrogant post and wrote, "Hey man, I think your PineScript code has a slight bug. You set your FVG and MSS indicators in the exact opposite direction. Anyone trading on this chart is going to liquidate their entire portfolio. Regards." 5 minutes later, the guy slides into my DMS. He's hurling insults, saying, "Who do you think you are questioning my algorithm? I will sue you." But he didn't stop there. To prove what a massive investor he was, he sent me another screenshot of his trading history and profits. I opened the screenshot and just looked at the top right corner. The guy was so angry and careless that he forgot to crop out the giant watermark that said demo account, virtual balance. I took that screenshot along with all his threats in the DMS and posted them uncensored right on the timeline. The tweet hit 50,000 likes in an hour. His entire VIP Discord group revolted, and everyone started demanding chargebacks. 4 hours later, the guy deactivated his account and vanished from the internet entirely. Those videos of him in the rented car now only exist in internet meme archives. Let's move on to our second story. This thread was titled, "The Most Embarrassing Night of My Life," and it is living proof of how far neighborhood gossip can go. This happened last Tuesday. I have a 2-year-old, incredibly sweet, but slightly hyperactive cat. On Tuesday morning, I took him to the vet to get neutered. The operation was a success, but to stop him from licking his stitches, the vet put him in that massive plastic cone of shame. We got home that evening, and the anesthesia was just wearing off, because my cat couldn't figure out how to walk with the cone. He just kept walking backward around the house, bumping into walls, and letting out these weird, deep, low meows. I was terrified he'd hurt his stitches, so I decided to stay awake all night. By midnight, my cat was just standing in the middle of the living room, staring into the void with this giant cone on his head, swaying slightly. So I sat on the floor next to him, softly singing lullabies to calm him down. It's around 3 a.m. The lights in the house are off. The only light is coming from the street lamp shining through the curtains. Because of the angle of the light, my shadow swaying on the floor and my cat's shadow with the giant cone merged on the curtain to create this massive, demonic, horned silhouette. But I had no idea. Suddenly, someone is pounding on my front door. I looked through the peephole. There are 2 police officers and my building manager standing behind them. I opened the door. The cops look tense and ask, "Is there anyone else inside? We got a report of a cult ritual and potential hostages." The old lady from the building across the street saw the giant horned alien shadow on the curtains, heard the weird, deep groaning sounds, which was just my cat, and called the cops thinking it was a satanic ritual. The officers walked in. The scene they found, a heavily sleep-deprived guy wrapped in a blanket on the floor and a cat walking backward on the rug with a massive plastic cone on its head. One of the cops absolutely lost it and had to lean against the wall because he was laughing so hard. The building manager turned beet red, apologized, and ran away. I am now officially known in the neighborhood as the leader of the alien cat cult. Our final story comes from those freezing, dead silent exam halls we all know too well. This thread, written by a teacher taking a centralized board exam, shows just how helpless we can be in moments of crisis. We are taking the Educational Sciences board exam. It's the most stressful day of my life. The hall is so quiet you can literally only hear the scratch-scratch of pencils on the optical forms and people breathing. I'm in the middle of the teaching methods and techniques section, agonizing over the hardest questions, stuck between two options. You know the exam rules. You leave your phone at the door with the committee or in the storage lockers outside the hall. The guy sitting in the front row had left his phone in a locker. Right in the middle of the exam, at the 60-minute mark, a sound started coming from the lockers. And it wasn't just any sound. The kid's morning wake-up alarm started going off. Guys, the alarm tone wasn't a standard ringtone. This kid had set his alarm to a ridiculously loud, aggressively upbeat, blasting folk dance song. In the middle of that dead silence, this insane, energetic carnival music started echoing down the hallway. The exam invigilator panicked and ran into the hallway, but the storage locker was locked. The key was downstairs in the admin office. The music wouldn't stop. It just kept looping and playing on full blast. Everyone in the classroom lost their focus. Nobody could read a single question. And the worst part, nobody could laugh, because if you laugh, your exam gets voided. The kid in front of me was drenched in sweat, blushing all the way to his ears. He buried his face in his exam booklet, trying to act like it wasn't his phone. But the beat of the music was so catchy that I saw a girl in the back row unconsciously start tapping her foot to the rhythm. The alarm blared non-stop for exactly 25 minutes. When the staff finally broke the locker open and turned the phone off, the entire classroom let out a collective deep breath. At the same time, when we left the exam, nobody was discussing the questions. Everyone was just staring at that kid. He literally sprinted out of the school. To this day, whenever I take a teaching methods test, I still hear that dance music playing in my head. That's the beauty of Twitter. At any given moment, you get a front row seat to an absurd tragedy in someone else's life. If you loved the absolute chaos in these stories, you definitely need to watch our previous video about the guy who accidentally projected a meme of his boss's bald head onto an 85-inch screen. Click the video on your screen right now. The madness continues on QRX Stories. See you in the next thread.